Welcome to Island Yoga. Start in Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a couple moments to center your breath. Lift those arms up to the sky. Bend forward. Fold in. Gently gaze up. Step and jump back. Come into an upward dog. Then pushing your way on back. Downward facing dog. Taking a few moments here to settle into the pose. Staying connected with the breath. Pressing into those hands, all 5 fingers. And then jumping up. Coming back to the hands, folding on in. And arms like wings, reaching the hands to the sky. And coming back in to mountain pose, Tadasana, and again, coming into that forward fold. Looking up, and then gently jumping on back. Push up, upward dog, and sinking back into those hips, downward facing dog. You might want to rock into those hips. Shake-a-lick-a-lick-a. Really press into those hands and gently let that head hang. Take a scan over the body and then get ready and jump on back up. Coming back into that forward fold. Stretching into the hamstrings, the calves, and then coming on up. Reaching up towards the sky, and hands float back down into mountain pose, Samastiti, and then up, folding back in, gently gazing up, folding a little deeper, then pressing into those hands, shooting on back, coming into an upward facing dog, then pressing your way on back, downward facing doggy. Really think about how you're pressing into all 5 fingers, really laying a strong foundation into the hands and feet, and just staying connected with those deep inhales and exhales of the breath. And then when you're ready, jumping back up, maybe even taking a handstand before you fold on in, coming back into that forward facing fold. And then when you're ready, arms gently sweep up towards the sky, and then back down to the hips, Samastiti, sweeping those arms up, fast sun salutations, inhale gazing up, exhale pressing into the hands, shooting back, upward facing dog, and gently pressing back into those hands, downward facing dog. Having fun with these sun salutations. We're just building up warmth, getting strong in the body, laying the foundation for the rest of our practice, and the foundation for strength in our lives. And then when you're ready, jumping back up, bringing those feet towards the hands, and folding deep, stretching into all those muscles along the body as your arms sweep up, and coming back into mountain pose. Arms sweep back up. Fold on in, take that deep fold, bending deep, and then shooting on back, pressing in those hands as you come into upward dog, gaze up, and then pressing back into the hands, pushing back in those shoulders, downward facing dog. Yoga is one of the greatest exercises in the world. You can do it anywhere, any place. All you need is your floor and your hands, your feet, and your muscles. And so when you're ready, jumping back up, bringing those feet to the hands, folding back in, sweeping those arms up, and coming back into mountain pose. Chair pose, lightning bolt, extending, folding on in, Pressing into those hands, shoot your way back, push up, upward facing dog. Gently pressing in those hands, downward facing dog. Stepping the foot up, arms sweep up, warrior one, then stepping on back to that push-up chaturanga, upward facing dog, press back, downward facing doggy, other foot steps up, arm sweeps up, warrior one. Try not to let that wind blow you over. As you lower your hands down, step on back, gently lower to the floor, gaze goes up, pushing on back, downward facing dog, settling into those hips, making this a long downward dog. And a great pose for building that foundation. So really take your time here, center yourself, and enjoy the pose. Then when you're ready, jump on back up. Either pressing up or coming back down. Find your way into that fold. Coming back into the chair pose when you're ready. And then extending out back to Samastiti. Bend in those knees, arms sweep up. Extend out, folding on in. Pressing those hands. When you're ready, shoot on back. Coming into an upward dog. Pressing back, downward facing dog. Foot steps up, coming into a warrior one. When you're ready, sink back down. Push up, lower on towards the floor. Upward facing dog. Pressing on back, downward facing dog. Stepping that other foot up. Shooting into a warrior one. Feeling that power and energy as you lower down. Step on back. Lower even further, chaturanga, upward facing dog, pushing into that downward facing dog, getting those hips nice and even as you sink into the pose, staying connected with that Ujjayi breath, inhales and exhales, bringing you strength and power as you build up the fire in the system. Then when you're ready, press on into those hands, and jump on up. Go up to a handstand if you want, or just settle on down into that forward fold, and then when you're ready, sink on back into that chair pose. Feeling that heat circulating. You're in Samastiti. Another one, arms sweep up, extend out, shoot on down, fold on in, keep folding deeper, then press into those hands, shoot on back, coming to an upward dog, push on back, downward facing dog, foot steps up, coming into a warrior one, lowering back down, chaturanga, upward facing dog, pressing back, downward facing dog, other foot steps up, coming into that warrior one. Feel that strength. Step on down. Chaturanga. Lower down. Come into an upward dog. Press on back. Downward facing dog. Really feel those hands in the earth.